Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, it's a surprise. I don't know what it is. The viewers at home obviously do. They've seen the thumbnail, but what's on the bar today?
It's backstage. We have got BAM Woodford Reserve Masters Collection Batch Proof 2023. And to the best of my knowledge, I've scoured the YouTubes and I cannot find a review of this, so we might be the first ones.
Primero numero.
Yes, the only place I saw this is Adriana over at Whiskey Mountains had it on a live stream. Other than that, I cannot find like an official review of this.
That's awesome.
We might be the first ones out of the gate here.
So maybe stop talking, start reviewing?
Yes. So 2023, 124.7 proof, 700 milliliter bottle. I don't know why they do that.
Awesome looking bottle. We
it
just
is an
did
awesome
another
looking
review,
bottle.
but it was a different. It was, I don't know, 90 proof.
The
but it was
historic barrel entry, which ended up being kind of it's an awful lot of money for not a ton of whiskey.
Yeah. But this one we have higher expectations. I think.
Yes. Anytime you get the cask strength of a product you already like, as we said before, is always good. Managed to find this one without bourbon hunting this weekend, so you never know.
Really rich on the brown sugar, kind of like it looks dense in the glass. It doesn't even swirl like water. It's kind of dense, and I have high expectations.
I'm getting a little bit of a nutty vibe from this that I don't normally get from Woodford.
Like a nutty and cinnamon's not the right flavor, but a spice.
Are you finding a sharpness to this that isn't just the proof, but there's a sharpness in flavor?
I'm definitely getting hit with the ethanol point. You know, it's noticeable. So that's kind of, I'm hard to get past that. But and maybe the cherry, like I don't know anything about it.
I was just going to say a little bit of cherry as well.
It looks, and well, it's probably the color of that light, but it sure looks red, like a little bit. But
it's
anyway,
very dark. Well, let's get into the flavor here. Cheers.
The first on the internet. Wow.
It's really nice.
It's very, very nice. It's incredibly
really
dry.
Good. It is, and I think maybe some of that
incredibly peanut forward.
The nutty vibe I'm getting is almost a salted
peanut shell.
Yes, exactly, and that's I think kind of is like a dry flavor.
Yes, I would agree.
Obviously, but it's kind of wrapped up in this nice. There's an interesting like caramely brown sugar, kind of standard bourbon sweet notes.
Yeah,
that could have been the name of this channel, Bourbon Sweet Notes.
Too many syllables.
But there's I said this about the Old Forester single barrel strength.
Okay. As
the resident Brown-Forman truffle pig, when it comes to these two lines in particular, Woodford and Old Forester, I'm usually very good at picking them out. I really, really like them, especially the Old Forester. Mm-hmm. And on that one, I was kind of having more of a difficult time. Like it's kind of blending into other bourbons, whereas the ones at a slightly lower proof, even up to the 115 on the Old Forester, I can pick out. I'm having that same experience with this, where this wouldn't jump out as a Woodford product to me.
It's just a high proof, really quality bourbon.
Yes.
But it's not unique to what Woodford does in this case.
Yeah.
It's really good, but it is a little on the whiskey geek kind of like novel type flavors. Like there's nothing bad about it. It's just I think it's expensive. I don't know the price yet, so let's not go there yet.
Okay.
But it's got really interesting flavors, but they're not really traditional bourbon notes. It's not that it's like totally a different flavor. It's just unique.
There's something outlying about this one.
Yeah.
And we've had the 118 proof batch proof. I can't remember what year. Is that last year's? I think maybe.
Really, we had that? Oh, it was a sample, right? It was on a bottle.
Yeah, it was a sample.
Okay.
And really like that one. But this one, just going off of memory from that one, this one is definitely much more dry. I think, did you say astringent before?
I haven't yet, but it's in that range.
Yeah. I really like this. And I'm excited to see kind of how this, we don't necessarily subscribe too hard to the neck pour, but, to see if maybe it opens up a little bit. Price point.
Okay,
is an issue with all of these.
Well, it's a limited edition, right?
It's a limited edition, so yeah, it's $140 MSRP.
Wow.
And that's what I paid for. It came to 150 and some change with, 155 maybe with taxes. Now, do I think flavor profile on its own, it's worth that? Probably not.
It's hard to say that any single bourbon, in a blind flight is worth, double or triple other really quality bourbons that we know that exist at the $50 range. Mm-hmm. But as a collector and a YouTuber,
I wasn't going to pass it up.
Well, yeah.
Well, because I had passed up on one a couple years ago and really regretted it. It was kind of one of those ones that, I wish I had just thrown the money out and done that. Yeah.
But, that's what's been missing in your life.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I saw this. There was one bottle. I knew if I didn't pick it up, I'm probably not going to get a chance to get one. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull the trigger, finally get one of these. I'm happy that I did. Mm-hmm. But I think if you put this in a lineup with
other limiteds,
well, maybe like an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof,
yep,
which is around that 80 to 90, at least in our area. It's gotten up to 90 in a lot of places. 80, I know it's kind of maybe MSRP for 70.
Yeah.
Those ones that are a similar proof point would hold their own against this. Even a Knob Creek store pick, a good Knob Creek store pick, I think is going to hold its own. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're going to put this next to a good Knob Creek store pick.
Or a Maker's Mark Limited, or Elijah Craig Limited.
At a $50, $60 price point,
yeah.
And I don't think you're going to notice an extra $100 difference.
Yeah.
That's where something like this, being limited, you pay for that because it's rare, they're in short supply. To be honest, I'm not sure why a brand that's as big as Woodford Reserve doesn't just release some sort of a cask strength, because they only have regular Woodford,
the double oak.
The double oak. As far as bourbons go, they have like some malt and some wheat and stuff like that. But as far as bourbons go, and they're very mass produced.
Oh, they're huge.
They only have those, and then their limited edition bourbons.
Really?
So I wish they kind of did something where they had like maybe a cask strength or a 101 or something.
112.
Yeah, that was a little bit different than just the 90.4.
Sure.
Where you didn't have to pay $150
I guess I didn't notice
to experience
that. Like
that.
I've had the basic, and I think I have a bottle right now. And the double oak is really, really good.
Yeah.
But Woodford's like, I don't follow them that closely.
Their bourbon line is not that expanded. Again, they've got a wheat whiskey, they've got a malt whiskey, they've got a rye.
American malt.
So they've got some other stuff, but when it comes to the bourbons, you got to wait for these super expensive limited releases to really get it in any other form besides the two that they already have. And I just wish that they would come out with something as big as their production seems to be.
Single barrel or,
but they do. You can do store picks of it, but they don't have a normal release of something that's a little different.
Sure.
So. But yeah, this is really good. I think that you have to just make the price point decision for yourself. If you're going strictly for flavor, you're not interested in collecting limiteds, you're not interested in reviewing it on a channel, I think you can do just as well for much cheaper. And that's really nothing against this. Anything we've had at the $100, $150 price point, we basically said the same thing about.
Yeah, they're for people who want to do a review, or you're a collector and you want to own a range or whatever. Yep. Sounds like owning the entire range of Woodford's not that hard, though, because they don't have the huge range.
No, it really isn't. But yeah, overall, it's good. I like it. But yeah, again, at the price point, kind of got to make that decision.
Totally.
So, all right, well, this has been the 2023 Woodford Reserve Masters Collection Batch Proof on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time. So for those of you playing at home, Ben went inside to have his sip because he thinks it tastes different out in the garage and he wants the unfiltered, uncut version of this rather expensive bourbon. I was just explaining to the viewers where you were, and so maybe you can drop that in at the end or something like that.
Well, that's like I said, that's the level of integrity I go to. I like to, if I'm tasting it outside, at least get an inside taste, so I'm...
Yeah.
Everybody already knows things taste a little different to me outside.